So Anna Keenan, her job title will be Sustainable Transportation Officer to work on transit and active transportation. And she'll be starting the first day back after the holidays, January 2nd.
Okay, and so one of the first items on our agenda will be that regional active transportation?
She will be tasked with forming a regional AT group, which we've put feelers out with different people, and it seems like there's interest. So she's going to be the lead on pulling that together.
Yep, thank you, sir.
Okay. Trevor, you okay? All good? All right, we'll move to the reports. We have some ISIP funding. We're looking to make some changes from 3 diesel buses, I believe, to 6 diesel buses, and back off the electric buses from 6 to 3, I think it was. So the reason we're doing that is with the high demand and the increase in ridership, we're going to need some more buses for 2025. So do you want to speak on that?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chair. So I outlined in the report that a suggestion to request an amendment to our agreement with ISIP. And I know that the Cassidys attended a budget meeting to discuss their fleet concerns.
Yeah.
So the bulk of the current fleet is about 15 to 16 years old. And not only are they concerned about reliability, but also ridership is up about 60%. So they're concerned that our current fleet plan that we have with the ISIP agreement won't meet the demands in the next year or two. The electric buses we have planned to order would arrive in 2026, and their concerns are more for 2024 and 2025. So the proposal is to go from 10 buses to 10 buses, but shifting the ratio. So instead of 3 diesel, 7 electric, we would go to 6 diesel, 4 electric. But I also want to point out that the current funding agreement, the prices of the buses have gone up quite a bit since that agreement. So in the end, we couldn't afford the 7 electric buses with the funding we have now anyway. And when I spoke to ISIP, they said they don't have any more funding to top that up. So it is unlikely we would get the 10 buses with the current agreement. So the proposal is to request, it would ultimately be ISIP's decision if they make that amendment. If they do, then we would get more diesel buses a year before electric buses. They can arrive a year earlier and meet the fleet needs. Now, I just want to point out, I know we're moving to electrification, and that's a huge goal, and it's of great importance. So we will still get 4 electric buses and be moving in that direction, but it will allow a slower entry into electrification, as I know there are some different concerns with that. And so this will allow us to meet the fleet demands, the ridership, and then also allow us to work towards electrification.
Yeah, thank you, Jessica. I think that's one of the things I think is a little bit disappointed is that we have to reduce our amount of electric buses to stay on budget. We have to get some more diesel buses. But at the end of the day, I understand the TC also has to retire. Is it 4 buses?
Through you, Mr. Chair. Currently, there's absolutely 3 old Eldorados that have to retire, but 75% of the other buses are about 15 to 16 years old. So most of our fleet we've acquired have been from other transit operations that were retiring that fleet. And, when I speak to Trias about buying buses, it's like you basically either buy a new bus or you buy a bus that's more than a dozen years old and somebody's getting rid of it. So there's not really anywhere in between. So we've been buying a lot of used buses, which means we get a lot of old buses that only have a certain shelf life, and then we have to work on replacing them. So
Yeah. So at the end of the day, with the increased ridership, keep the buses on the road and have room for growth, we have to get some buses, and we have to get them now. And so that means we have to buy some more diesel buses. But once we get over this hump and get the new building built for electrification, we'll be marching to order some more electric buses. So, any questions, Trevor? Where's it? Pardon me? Oh, Councillor Duran. Councillor Duran, do you have any questions?
No.
No, Bobby, I didn't know you were there. Okay.
Just wanted to make
No
sure
problem.
we recognize the council.
Are we all good?
No. Just want to ask about our climate action plan. So does this sway off it? Because we were looking at 7, now we're going to 4. And, we do have a climate action plan that does encourage EVs, e-buses and so forth. How does that line up to that?
Yeah, thank you, Mayor, and through you, Mr. Chair. So the Climate Action Plan is in the works, so we don't have a Climate Action Plan at the moment. The community engagement and collaborator engagement is happening to get everyone's input on adaptation and mitigation. No doubt that it will direct us to go in that direction. And we have a community energy plan and our integrated community sustainability plan, which also points us in this direction. So, and provincial goals of going net zero as well. So, the goals are out there and we know this is what we have to do. We don't have like a completed climate action plan that has this detail in it, but we know, of course, this is what we want to do and what we want to move towards. But it's, in the meantime, we have ridership that's grown 60% and people that want to be moved around the city. And if we don't have the buses now to do that, then that's the challenge, right? Because we can't get buses until after the building's done because we don't have a place to charge them. So, if we only went with electric buses, we would have to wait 2 years.
Yeah. So we bought the shed. We purchased a new shed, and then we're going to build on that shed for the electrification of our buses. So that should have been part of the plan, whether it was three buses, 7 electric buses. So
There is the ISIP agreement has multiple parts to it. So the construction of the new facility is one. The infrastructure for charging is another one. The buses and the fleet is another one. So the agreement currently includes diesel buses for transitioning. So ISIP's aware that we are purchasing diesel buses. We have 3 on order right now. So it's all part of that. So the existing building we bought is the current maintenance building that is used by Maritime Coach and T3 Transit. The new build will be for the electrification. So that is projected to be built by 2026.
Right.
And that's where we would be able to plug in electric buses.
right. And so, Mr. Chair, again, the federal government has a goal of 2035 of 100% of EVs on the roads. So, they'll be looking at buses and trucks and so forth. So we're swerving away from that by reducing our number of electric buses and going with more diesels, which means we have to put more money into it as a municipality. So I know the ISIP funding is very important on the purchase and whether they're new buses or they're used buses, but we have to keep focused on the goal of transferring our diesel to EV or e-buses because that's the future. And I think that, when we go from 7 electric buses now to 4, is that correct? I'm looking at it here.
Yes, that's correct. But like I said, the budget that was allocated to this was done a few years ago. And it roughly estimated about 1.1 million per electric bus. And from what we're seeing, other places buying electric buses, they're now at least 1.4.
Yeah.
So
And your diesel are
we
about-
wouldn't buy 7 electric buses with the current budget that's there.
That's why the municipalities have to start making more money. They have to invest more into it. Parallel that.
It depends on ISIP funding and if they put out a new they could put out a new load of ISIP funding.
Right. So
So I suspect that moving forward with the federal government's 2035 all electric vehicles, that there will be more funding towards transitioning to electric.
right, and the buses will be more expensive as we go down the road because
Like everything is.
right. So that's why we had this ISIP funding in place for the last several years. Now we're starting to activate it, and we're behind the 8 ball because prices are gone up because of inflation. But your diesel buses are at 850, 900,000. Like the margin between the two, diesel and electric, might be 10, 20%.
Through you, Mr. Chair, so the diesel buses are more in the mid-80s, and we are estimating the electric right now are about 1.4 million.
What did you say the diesel were at?
Mid-800s, sorry.
Yeah, mid-8 plus, yeah. Anyways, Mr. Chair.
But, you know, at the end of the day, we have no choice. Ridership is going through the roof.
Yeah.
And that's what you want, is to get more people, more vehicles off the road, more ridership.
Yeah.
The buses are full. 2024, there is no more buses. Retiring, we heard at least 3, if not 4.
Yeah.
What's the longevity of a diesel bus? It's not more than 5 years, is it?
Oh, yeah.
From brand new, it's about 12 years.
It will go 12 years?
Yeah.
Okay.
My point is that the city of Charlottetown and other jurisdictions are going to have to put more money in from our own coffers to make this happen. So we have to look at increasing the ISIP budget with our budget to buy more buses, buy more electric buses, because that's where we're moving. And
And that's what I don't understand. How do you know that the next ISIP funding, when they re-announce it or refill it, is not going to be at a higher percentage?
yeah, it may be, but we have to put forward a higher percentage also. And the letter that we got from Ernie Hudson regarding the capital region transit system, you know, as he said, all indications point to 2023 being another record-breaking year for transit ridership as more islanders opt for sustainable ways to continue to commute to and from work. In light of these encouraging developments, department staff will be in contact soon to discuss the details outlined in our November 27th letter. So the province, the feds are pushing money into it. We have to step up too as a municipality, like other municipalities.
But we are putting money into it also.
Yeah?
We're doing that now.
What's our percentage? Is it 50/50?
For the
this-
ISIP funding?
Through you, Mr. Chair. So are you talking specifically the ISIP agreement?
Yeah, ISIP.
So I'll give you just a general idea. So for the money we had set aside for the electric buses, that would have been 3.38 million from the federal government, 2.82 million from the province, and 2.25 from the applicants, which is the 3 municipalities.
So, Mr. Chair, down the road, like sooner than later, we're going to have to put more money on the table as a municipality to buy those buses, whether they're electric or diesel, because we need to, as you know, and both Trevor, Councillor McKinnon knows, Councillor Drawn, we're not serving the extremities of the municipality, whether it's in Winslow, East Royalty, West Royalty, and I'm more for e-buses as I am for e-vehicles, because you know, if we're talking about a climate action plan that's still being developed, well, this should be definitely the part of it that we need to push not only upon our own municipality, but other municipalities within the capital region.
Yes, and through you, Mr. Chair, 100% agree that the EV electric buses is the way we need to go. What we're doing now is just trying to solve a problem with fleet being unreliable and not enough of them, and ridership being up over the next 2 years when we won't have electric buses available to us.
And
Yeah,
just final,
maybe, Your Worship, you don't know when the electric buses were due to come in.
yeah, I spoke to Matthew.
Okay, so that's the problem.
Yeah.
We don't have electric buses coming in next year. We don't have any buses coming next year.
Yeah,
So we have to have something for next year
Yeah.
when the other buses are retiring. Plus, on top of that, you have buses retiring, you have ridership continuing to go north.
diesel,
So the only choice, to order an electric bus now and have it in next year is not going to happen.
yeah, same as diesel buses, brand new diesel buses. Order new diesel buses, they take some time too. It's like trying to get a new car. Everything's backed up on the supply side for vehicles, whether they're trucks, cars, mopeds, motorcycles. It's a worldwide issue. So I'm just
But we-
saying that
but
we
we
have to
need-
put more money into it.
Yeah, well, you need the depot built too for the electric buses when they arrive. So the only choice we have right now is for the diesel
Yeah.
buses for next year.
Yeah.
Do we still want to ramp up electric? Yes. Do we want to ramp up as quick as we can? Yes. Are we going to have to put more money? Like everything else, everything goes up, and you will have to put more money. So right now, at the position we're in,
I'll just.
we want to keep up with the
No,
ridership, we
I'll
have to
just,
get new buses.
I'll
So-
just end by that, you know, I'm.
Are
I'm a
we
little-
okay with going with?
Yeah, but,
Are we okay with going
Yeah.
with the transit buses, changing the ISIP application?
yeah, I just want to end by saying that, look, I'm a little discouraged that we're going backwards because we were at 7-3 because of economic situation. I'd like to go 5-5, but we're not in that position right now because the manager's proposing 3, go from 3 to 7
to be able to keep up with the demand.
No, I
we
understand
have
that.
to.
No, I understand that. I just, we knew the demand was increasing. So, you know, I'll have to accept going forward, but we have to look at putting more money into e-buses because it's easy to get the money from the other partners, but we have to up our ante. So, thank you.
Bob, any concerns?
No, none at all. Thank you very much.
Okay, so we're good to, we're good. Can I have a mover and a seconder to move this on to council? Move by
Sure.
Trevor, second by Bob, or I should say Councilor Duran, I guess, Councilor McKinnon. All right, we're all good?
Perfect.
Right. I don't think there's anything else on the agenda. Just
Move
want-
to adjourn.
No, I just want to wish everybody a
Oh, good.
very Merry Christmas. I do want to thank all the staff. I'm glad you're all here because you guys have done a lot of good work this year. And so the committee is really proud of the work that's been done. So I'm looking forward to 2024. But the last council meeting, I did do a review of all the work that you guys have been working on and all the accomplishments we made. So I think the city as a whole is very proud. So again, thank you very much for all your work and look forward to 2024. So again, use the holidays to recharge the batteries. So,
Okay, let's go party.
Yeah. Can I have
Thank
a
you.
motion to adjourn? Moved by Councilor McKinnon, seconded by His Worship.
Sure.
Thank you. Merry Christmas.